We're ready for our Hive mission. So let's just run through really quick how you set up a hive. Because unlike our other maps, we're not going to be able to see all of the nodes we're going to encounter. We're not going to be able to do quite as much planning. We're going to run a little bit blind in here. To set up the hive, the first thing you have to do is reveal your entry point. So you turn over a tile. The only rule is you cannot start an entry point with a special node. These are sort of the end game nodes. These are where you have to get in order to succeed in your hive mission. So you're not allowed to start with one of them because what's the point in that? So you slide it aside and you reveal another. Great, this is going to be our entry node. And we get to decide where we want to enter. Okay, so we'll say we'll enter here at demolitions 2. Now, once we've generated our entry point, we get to next come up with our infiltration zone. This is merely 2 tiles, okay? Same requirement, they can't have the special node, clear there. And we're allowed to place these wherever we want, and we can freely rotate them for these first 2 tiles. So we have a little bit of say in how exactly we want these to go. So for example, we could say, all right, let's do this here, and then, ooh, there's an info pack. Wait, maybe I would like to get that right off the bat. So then I'll put this here, and then let's do this one here, all right? And at this point, you're ready to begin the game. Of course, shuffle back in any of these little special tiles you need. But you're given one last chance to search. And to do that, you optionally can spend 1 info pack to reveal 2 more tiles, okay? These tiles are allowed to have, the question mark. This could be endgame. So we want to put this as close to us as possible. But for placing these 2 tiles, you must follow the placement rules. And the placement rules are very simple. If you want to place this tile, the first thing is you have to connect, okay? So for example, we can't place it up here because there'd be no way to get to it. Can't place it down here. Can't place it behind, all right? We've got to keep going. If we wanted to place it, if we could place it, let's say, adjacent to where our squad is. So if we were able to place it here, you have to place it with the orientation up and down. You're not allowed to rotate. Okay? The same is true if you want to place it 1 away from adjacent to the squad. So this is my squad. Left, right, top and bottom is adjacent, so I have to place it right side up. +1. So if I want to place it here, let's say, if there was a connector, I would have to place it up and down. I wouldn't be able to rotate it. It's only once you get far enough away from where your squad is that you're allowed to play with the rotation, all right? So let's say up here, I would be able, if I wanted to place it. I think there's an entry here, here, and here. So if I wanted to, I could rotate it and place it this way, all right? It's up to me. The farther away you are, the more freedom you have to place. If you want to place something really close, then you're locked in this up and down orientation, okay? And this is true for every time your squad hits an unknown area. So if we wander through here and we make it to this edge and we decide we want to explore here, we can either pull 1 tile and we're forced to place it up and down right next to this. Or we can spend an info pack and reveal 2 tiles, and now we can place them however we want, as long as they connect, all right? So there is a little bit of wiggle room in how many tiles you're revealing if you're spending your info tokens or not. And depending on how far away you place the tile from your squad, you may be able to rotate it to kind of finagle your way through a little bit. Some of these little hive tiles have special conditions on them. Narrow passage, and they give you a really small reminder of what to do, but there's a more detailed description in the playthrough. All right, so let's see. We picked Hive Mission 3. So let's see what we're going to be doing in this one. Headquarters. All right, we're jumping in deep here. The location you recently discovered turned out to be an enemy base. Fabulous. Your squad must infiltrate the area and eliminate the command group operating here. Okay, they sound like tough guys. Let's find out what sort of specials we're going to need. Okay, locate the area where the enemy command group is operating, special node E. Right, remember, those are the question marks that turn up on our tiles. We're gonna pull a couple of these little guys. It says we need to create the special node pool with 3 counters. A blank, an E, that's what we're looking for, and a G, and I believe this is a grenade cache. Okay, so we'll shuffle these up, set them aside. What else? Okay, a base node. Anytime we hit a node on one of these tiles, let's see if I can find one here, like so, where it says base on it, we're going to apply this string. It's going to need an advance 3, and it's going to be a 5+ enemy table A. Okay, so that defines that. Great. What else do we need to know? Special rules. Okay. Enemy forces are unaware of us. So until an event is triggered, that means until we go into combat, we get a +1 modifier on all event checks. What does that mean? So instead of being a 5+, this is going to turn into a 6+. So we have a chance here to sneak through some of the hive. Once we get into a battle, though, the enemy will know we're there and we lose our neat little modifier. We are using the advance rule, so that means we can spend a command point, ha ha ha, very funny, to apply an additional +1 modifier to the event check, okay? Unless we pull a 6. A 6 is automatic. So if, for example, we pull a 5 and our commander somehow magically makes a +1 modifier appear, we could bop that down, right, to a 4. And then we could avoid this event. So assuming we get some command points, that might be a nice thing to use them on. Special nodes, right? E is for enemy, G is grenades, and blank is a blank. Makes sense. So there are a couple little variations we can do if we want to make this an easier, a harder, or a crazy hard hive exploration. And since it is our first run through, you know, we can play it easy. I'm cool with that. And it's very simple. All it says is apply a +2 modifier instead of a +1. So we can sneak a little further in. I don't know. Maybe we'll just play normal. Let's just go normal. We don't need easy. We're on a campaign, for Pete's sake. So I think that's everything we need to know for the setup for Mission 3. Let's see if we can't now get our squad together. Like I mentioned earlier, I went through here and checked, and there are no computer checks anywhere in the hive, okay? That's just not part of this playthrough. So we can kind of dump out our computer experts, our engineer, and our technician. They're not really needed down here. That leaves us with these guys, all right? Demo, yep, there's always something to blow up. Explore, there's tons of scouting and tracking and climbing, and our scientist. And here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about trying something a little bit different. Now, for all the other missions we've run, I've gone with 2 specialists and then 4 units, right? And I've chugged along a bunch of info packs to use when I hit a node where I don't have a specialist to help me out. And that's worked. That's worked up until now. But remember, with the hive, we can spend those info packs. Instead of getting through a single node, we can spend them to reveal 2 tiles instead of 1 when we explore. And I really think moving fast and being able to see what is ahead of us is going to be a big help. So I would rather spend those info packs on revealing deeper into the hive than trying just to get through 1 stinking node, all right? I haven't played a hive before. This is just this is just sort of what I'm thinking. So what if we take all 3 of our specialists, which means we have the skill check for any node we come up with, right? Sounds fabulous, right? The problem is that's going to eat up 30 of our points for making our squad. So our choice is for our squad, either take some of the low level units, right? Take some of fire team A and B because, assault team A and fire team A, because these guys are only 20 points, okay? So I could pull together 4 of these. That would give me 80, 90, 100, 110, right? Now, the problem with that is we have 2 of these guys who've never been on a mission with us, so they have no modifiers, no talents, no abilities, okay? We do have good old Abraham, and he's only 20. And we do have, somewhere in here, Miss Scarlet, and I don't know where she ran off to, but she's somewhere in my little pile of people here. And she also, here she is. She's a veteran, so she does have this +1 modifier. She does not have a talent, though. All right. So while we would be running a full 4 squadron team, they're pretty weak. They're pretty weak. Pretty much base units. So the other thing we can do is we can run a smaller squad, a tighter squad, but gets us a little more firepower because we can pull in our CC unit that we've given another hit point to, right? He got upgraded. He's not a veteran yet. And good old Gunner, we can bring him back into the fray. And remember, Gunner gets double hit if we're hand to hand. So that would give us 30, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. It's a slightly smaller unit, right? We're missing 1 guy. That might hurt us when it comes to advancing. It's definitely going to hurt us when it comes to wound allocation. And we'll have 1 less person for attack. But it'll free up our info packs to explore into the hive. So let's try it. Let's try running a leaner, meaner squad. Let's just take these 3 guys and the dud and 3 specialists. Let's see how that works. I may regret it, but that's okay. Live and learn. Live and learn. So this is going to be our squad. This is who we're going to take. Let's give this a shot. The only other thing is, of course, what's down there in that hive? Well, looked at the enemies we have left, and I thought, let's try the mutant humanoids. Now, these guys are a little bit nasty because they are deadly. So when they hit, if they're deadly, they're going to inflict 2 wounds, all right? And that's the abominations. Check these guys out. 2, 4, 5 health plus armor. Plus, if we're hand-to-hand, which is how we like to fight, they're going to be landing 2 wounds on us. Yikes. Yikes. So, hitting these guys is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. These, the mutants and the hybrids, not too bad. Not too bad, especially if we can stay out of fire range, which is what we like to do. But those abominations, woo, we got to keep our eye out for those guys. Well, let's run up against the mutants. Let's say we've discovered a hive of mutants. Let's go see if we can clean them out. So what are we going to take with us into the hive? Well, obviously, we're going to need some information packs because we want to be revealing as many tiles as possible. So I'm thinking 3. And I'll tell you why in a second here. Medikits. Those abominations look scary. And we only have 3 guys, so we are going to be wounding rather frequently. That's 6. Now the last 2 I'm thinking, these are something we haven't taken before. These are stymo packs, all right? I'm thinking about taking 2 of these because the effects of these are really cool, all right? You can spend a stymo pack at any time during combat. And what this does, if you're at hand-to-hand melee range, is you get to place a +2 modifier on one of your units. And I'm looking at Gunner, because we all know Gunner's the man when it comes to fighting, all right? He already has a +1, okay? So for the rest of combat, if we juice him up here with one of these, he will have a +3 modifier, which means he's always going to hit once, and he has a very good chance, you know, we can split that +3 up, so you can put 1 here, 2 here, however we want. In addition, however, to giving him a +2 modifier, all wounds that he inflicts count as 2. And wait a minute, I know what you're thinking. He's already got this going, right? This means every wound he manages to hit is going to generate 4 wounds. Is that unbelievable? That's unbelievable, right? So he is just going to be a machine. Not only is it going to be easy for him to hit, he's going to be doing a massive, massive amount of damage. And I think when those abominations come up, I think we're going to need to juice up Gunner. All right, I think that's what we're going to need. So I know I want one of these for the abominations. I'm not sure how often they're going to appear, which is why I think I'm going to bring 2, just in case they pop up more than once. I think these little Stymo packs are going to be really cool because it's going to make Gunner damn near unstoppable. So that's what I'm thinking. A little low on healing and info, but I really think for the big firefight with those abominations, I think we're going to need these. Okay, so let's try that. Let's try that. And now we'll set up the hive. All right, let's generate our hive here and see what we get. Interesting. All right, no special node, so that's okay. And it looks like we have a choice. We do have a choice here. So if we come in through the top, we're going to hit this tracking node. Oh, this is a new event notification. So on a 3 or higher, we're going to pull from the enemy table A, and we're going to add 2. Well, that's nasty. So if we like pull a 4, that's going to up us to a 6, right? So what does that look like here? Let me slide the enemy table in. So let's say we pull a random number 2. We're going to add to it. So instead of just getting 2 mutants, oh, I guess we'll just stay on 2 mutants. That's not too bad. But it could bump us from 2 mutants to 3, from 3 mutants to 3 mutants and a hybrid. So this little node has the possibility of being very gross. So maybe we don't want to go through it. Okay, but if we come in here, we'll have to go through demolitions. That's not a problem. And we'll end up down below here. Okay, so let's do that. Let's say, if this is our entry point, let's say we're going to come in here and we're going to head for this demolition node. All right, entry point done. Now let's set up our infiltration zone. All right, next card is, can't use this one. Put it aside. Try that again. Can't use that one. All right, here we go. Oh, okay, so this one has a special requirement. Let's see what that is. All right, narrow passage. Okay. A max of 2 units and 2 enemies can participate in combat. All right, actually kind of like that. It's gonna narrow it down a little bit. Okay, so this is not a very bad node. I think I'm happy with that one. Climb with a 5, base with a 5. All right, I got no problems with that. Let's place that one down below. Okay, let's pull our next. Ooh, interesting. Oh, another special text node. This one says hidden pits. Oh dear, hidden pits. Okay, up here. After the pits event occurs, draw a number. 4 or less means 2 units fell into the pit. Okay. A higher, 1 unit fell into the pit. A Class A event occurs with only the units in the pit. Oh, well, that's the pits. Ha ha ha. Sorry, I couldn't help that. Do we want to deal with this one? Guess it's not that bad. A pit fighting in the pits. So we have a choice of where we want to put this. If we decide we want to avoid these, we can stick them up here, right? And that, because we're going to try and avoid this node, and so this will just be sort of a dead-end track where we're just not going to want to go that way. That's kind of deadly to do, because if we pull something even nastier, we don't have any other branches to sort of avoid it, right? If we stick it down here, we'll definitely have to go through it, but we'll at least get a branch. So, then we have to get through both of these pits. Man, those are horrible. All right, let's risk it. Let's stick it up top and see if we can't avoid it. So I think I'm gonna do this. Because man, if we have to go this way, we are gonna be in trouble. So I'm not happy with leaving my exploration here. We're gonna spend an info pack and generate 2 more tiles. Okay, so let's dump one of these. That didn't take long, did it? And remember, we're gonna get to shuffle in our nodes. So hopefully, one of these guys is gonna pop up to the top here. We get to look at 2 more, but now, of course, we don't have the luxury of moving orientation, all right? So the way these guys get pulled is gonna be the way they're played, okay? Oh, speaking of which, I think I'm gonna swing, I guess we'll leave him here. It doesn't really matter which way we go in. Okay, 2 more. Let's see what we get and where we want to put them. Oh, fabulous. Look at that, right on the top. Okay, where are we gonna put them? Oh no, another special. Darn it, another narrow passage. But we come in here, a base, a tracking. Ooh, oh, toxins. Okay, these are nasty. Toxins say you pull a random number, and at a 5 or higher, you end up releasing these toxins, and your squad suffers 2 wounds. You are not allowed to block with armor. These are nasty, but not that bad. Not that bad. So what if we place these down below? Let's put 1 here. We cannot rotate it because we are adjacent, 1 away. This one though we can rotate if we like, okay? And I think I don't think we need to. This is where we need to get. So we can either come through an intelligence. Oh, this is a B event, this is an A event. Yeah, let's rotate that bad boy. Let's rotate him. And we'll stick him here. So we can come in to an event with an A table. Hopefully this will be the end and we'll win right here. But that's okay. If we don't, we have 2 more branches we can go off of, which means I don't have to worry about that little nasty pits that I've put to the north of us. Okay, so I think that is our final hive. And our plan is going to be to come in here, head through demo, climb down these narrow passages into some more narrow passages, try not to drop and fall into the toxins, climb out, and head over here where we think there's a possibility of headquarters. So we'll mix these up and place 1 there. Okay, I think we're ready to begin.